Welcome back, traders. Second portion of our show, Market Movers. We did get a little bit of flurry of activity there to the downside, Dennis, but was that your order out there at 1244.75 that stopped this free-for-all, or what?
I wish, man. On that number, it spiked down. We were flat, and boom, we spiked down 11 points, and then bang, we were back flat again. It was down there for about 2 or 3 seconds, maybe. It was down quick and back up quick. So, Joel, that was crazy. Crazy spike down. Still trying to settle in. We're just kind of flat here on the SPOO, so we'll have to see as we get closer to the open which way we're going to move.
Just a quick note, we did get the spike down. It did hold. And then to rally up, we only made a new high by tick. So I think if you do get some kind of rally this morning, above this 1258.75 level, I think some people that missed the opportunity to sell the stocks and sell the SPOOs at the end of last week, will be using this, as an opportunity to flatten out, some positions. And we will now move on to our market movers, and we'll start with, Chesapeake Energy.
Chesapeake Energy, Joel, came out after hours last night, just a couple minutes after the bell, so they're selling their Utica shale acreage stake in Ohio for it was over $1 billion. So that's giving the stock a pop here this morning, $30.50 here after closing at $29.03. Just going to the chart and checking out for resistance levels. I would have said, $30 probably would have provided some resistance, but we're trading above there now, so maybe use that for your swing number. What do you think on Chesapeake, Joel?
Hit 30.80 in the pre-market. Really don't see a lot until really the 32 level. But actually there was a couple stops here at 31.45 and 31.66. But it seems to me like every time this stock has a big pop like this, it really has a hard time holding it. So if you're going to play it from the short side, if it gets down to $30, that was the area that it broke out from. Perhaps it brings some shorts in. But keep an eye on 30.80, which was the pre-market high.
Last night, Starbucks reported earnings. They were good. Stocks trading up 42.76 after closing at 41.40, so it's up $1.36 on this move. This is a stock here, though, Joel. Like I've kind of, been looking at this for you longer-term traders out here. Here's a stock that back in December of '08 and even into April of '09, this stock was at $7. We're now at 41, and if we go back, far enough on the chart, you had the old 52-week high was $40. Obviously, we sold that entire thing off, got that entire thing back. So if you look at somebody that bought this thing at $7, the thing's trading 41 today. And so you're talking about almost sixfold on your money here in 2 years. You wonder how high this thing can keep running. Obviously, it's made new highs on new all-time highs on this move, which makes it scary to short. But just from a fundamental perspective, the PE's kind of high. Yeah, I don't know. I've never been a huge fan of buying this stock.
You don't like paying $4 for a cup of coffee?
That's what it is, Joel. I'm cheap, and you get that $4 cups of coffee. Here the market is teetering on, been teetering on, recession, especially over in Europe. And, you've got this stock sitting around its all-time high. So for you longer-term traders out there, I don't think it's that bad idea to try a longer-term short on Starbucks. Not saying you can't take a few points of heat in the short run, but man, I think, risk-return is definitely on the short side as opposed to the long side here.
Okay, yeah, major resistance at 43.13 up to 43.43. There was 3 consecutive highs there. Currently trading at 42.76. From a longer term perspective, Dennis, I would say that if this stock breaks down below like 40.50, it's just been it's just like I call it a cliffhanger. It's just been hanging above that 40.50, piping up, testing the highs. So you really can't think about taking this stock out to the woodshed until you break below 40.50. A lot of resistance was at the 42 level. So if we do get a sell-off, look for support in that. And the pre-market high is 42.92. I'd keep an eye on that as well.
Speaking of stocks that I would never want to own, AIG had earnings. Obviously this is a stock, that has just had a terrible 4 or 5 years looking longer term, but short term, we're short term traders, so let's stick to the short term. $25 is huge on this. It definitely, had some resistance there the last couple of days. It's trading down 23.80 right now, 24.63 on their earnings report. So it's going to be a little bit weaker here today, Joel. What do you got for short term numbers there on AIG?
Let's see what happens at this 23.60 to 65 level. That was double bottom from Wednesday and Thursday. Below that, you got another low slinking in at 23.19. But after that, look out until the mid-22s. Coming back on the upside, you have yesterday's low, which we're currently just trading above. So going to be tough for the stock to get back over 24. If it does, I look for it to test settlement at 24.63.
LinkedIn, LNKD reported earnings here as well. Stock actually getting beat up pretty good, down $9 right now, 78.60. That is close to the low being 78.16, I think, as I seen a tick go by there. So that's your pre-market low. I'm looking at this chart here too. I would have said maybe you'd find some support at 80, or we're below there right now, so maybe I'd use 80 for a swing number. Trying to find support on this. This is another stock with one of those high PEs, which always seems to be scary right now. $70 even. We're $8 away from there, but if it really went into sell-off mode, I think you'd find some buyers down there, Joel.
I think some people would step in a little bit before that, Dennis. You had 3 lows from 74.81 up to 75.37 back in early October. Pre-market low currently stands at 76.80. So below that, let's look for that $75 level. Coming back on the upside, seems someone's taking a stand here at the 81 level. So if you do get an early long on that stock, look for some resistance at 81.
Mohawk Industries, which is MHK, reported earnings as well. The stock doesn't have any trades yet, but there's been an offer just slowly drifting down. This is a stock that trades 700,000-800,000 shares a day. So, it trades around maybe 1 million a day with the earnings. So it's not a huge mover, but, there's going to be some volatility here. This guy's been drifting down. He's offered 49.35, which is 3 points down now. The best bid's down at 48.35, which is 4 points down. So it's starting to find a market here. It looks like it's going to be under $50. So I was looking at that 50 as a possible support area. Maybe that becomes resistance if we open below there, but $50 looks like a good swing number to me, Joel.
Yeah, there was a few spotty trades there at 46. I just think that someone may be trying to paint the tape there. Longer term, you did have some bottoms in the stock. 3 consecutive bottoms between 47.89 and 48.21. So I'd use that 48 if you're looking to cover some shorts off this break. Below that, things really kind of open up to really that 46 area that you were talking about. Coming back on the upside, you're quite a ways from yesterday's low, but perhaps if we go into a rally mode, let's use that 50.72 as resistance.
Jefferies is selling off a bit this morning, JEF. What a wild ride. Did you see that one yesterday, Joel? In the morning, went down, tripped the circuit breaker, gets down to 9.79. They come out, the company says, they don't really have that many problems, and stock rallies all day long, back up to 12.01 to close. $12 looked like the pretty good resistance area, so funny that it closed right around that area. Obviously, if anybody took that home short, they're up a little bit this morning as the stock's trading 11.68 here and now. I definitely wouldn't be playing this from the short side as opposed to the long side, but, this is one's going to have some added volatility here again. I had a 25% range yesterday, so it's probably going to have a pretty good range there today too, Joel.
Yeah, it seems like, the street's just trying to gang up on Jefferies here and take him down. I don't think it's going to be quite as easy to take Jefferies down as it was Shearson Lehman or Bear Stearns. I think that they're a little bit more of a solid company, and like I said, I would not put a lot of stock in this thing going a lot lower. 1270 seems to be the rock here on the upside. 1258, 56, and 66 have been the highest of the last 3 days. So the stock won't be out of the woods until it gets above that 1270 level. I think if you get down to anywhere under that $10 level, it'd be a good place to bring in some shorts or try along.
Fluorocorp, which is FLR, had earnings as well. Stock is trading 55.55 after closing at 58.60, so stock is selling off pretty significantly here. This 55 area looks pretty big to me, so I wonder if you're going to find some buyers in that 55 area here, Joel. What do you think about this construction company?
I don't see much at 55, Dennis. I see a low at 54.30 from a couple days ago. So, it is down 3 sticks. So it's, that's pretty good move for this stock. Looking at the pre-market, someone's stepping in this stock at the $55 level. So you can use that. The Dennis number is, support the first time. Coming back on the upside until we can get above 56.50. I wouldn't look for the stock to go up and attempt to fill the gap.
Here's another one that's moving, SGEN, which is Seattle Genetics. Stock is trading down $2.76 right now after it's trading at $19.20 after closing at $21.96. It's a major sell-off for this stock. It's had a heck of a run here in the last couple of months. Early August we were up back, at $12.29. Stock had ran to $22. So we're going to give back quite a bit of that run here this morning, Joel. What do you think of SGEN?
20 will be a great swing number that really held as a low for several days back in October. So if you get a pop up there, look for resistance. When it comes to support, you really you can't look much for this $19 level. Looks like minor support. But I'd be really looking at $18.50 as your first stopping point, and then $18.12. I mean, with these kind of stocks, a lot of it's, there are a lot of one-drug wonders, so it's hard to predict what they're going to do. To confirm that $18.50 number, we did have some decent volume trading at $18.40 and $18.50, so you can use that as your first stopping point.
Healthcare REIT, HCN, doing a secondary offering. Stocks never like it when you dilute their shares. So the stock is trading down after closing at 52.27. And interesting, it actually went ex-dividend today too. So you've got a couple of plays in here basically that's happening. You've got people that probably took it home for the dividend. Then after the bell last night, they announced that they're going to dilute it more. So you've definitely got a few of those guys that were taking it home for the 71-cent dividend under serious water here as the stock's trading $2.20 down. So if you're looking at your close, it's not 52.95, it's 52.27. That's the adjusted close for the dividend. And the stock is trading 50.10 right now, so it's $2.10 down from where the adjusted dividend was. So the dividend players are not liking that news after the bell, Joel. It's kind of just settled right in here in this $50 area. What do you think of HCN?
Yeah, it really is. Someone's really not letting the stock trade much below $50. That was also a double bottom back at the end of October. I would use that as a swing number. It just seems like it really doesn't want to go much below there. If in fact it does take out that level, I wouldn't really say it was out of the woods until it broke below 49.72. But if it does break below that, then you got a clear ride down to 48.79. Also, this is just not a real heavily traded stock, so it should get a lot of movement.
That's all I've got for you today, Joel. Anything else you want to close with?
No, I just see things are settling in after the unemployment number. We've really rejected those highs, 58.75. We made a new high by 1 tick after that number. That's $1 below yesterday's high. So let's use that as our stopping point here. Our mid-range has come down just a tad here to the 1251.5 area. Use that as your swing number. I hope we're giving you some good information, folks. That's our show for today. Have a nice and long weekend.